They could be any group of friends meeting for an afternoon chat. But all of these people have fought their own battle against polio, a disease that affected thousands of Australians during the epidemics that raged between the 1920s and the late 50s. Official records indicate 40,000 Australians contracted polio at this time, but actual figures could be 100 times greater. Some polio survivors were completely paralysed. Others left with severely weakened limbs requiring calipers or other mobility aids. But with intense physiotherapy, many were told to do away with their aids, put it all behind them and just get on with their lives. Today, there are people like Karim, who came to Australia after contracting polio in their home country, who will benefit from the experience of Australian polios. However, this group of people now have another challenge to deal with. They are experiencing the late effects of polio or post-polio syndrome. They are on a mission to find treatments and strategies to overcome the late effects of polio and then share them with other polio survivors and the medical profession, many of whom think that the war against polio was won in the 60s with the success of mass immunisation.
When I was 16, the doctor said, go away, we don't need to see you anymore, throw away your calipers, just go and live your life. When I was 26, I went back and saw the same doctor and he said to me, I told you 10 years ago, don't need to see you again.
I didn't know it was post-polio. I thought it was arthritis, and so did the doctor, because I forgot about the polio, because it was when I was a child.
If someone had told me 15 years ago that I'd no longer be walking, I would have laughed at them. But now I've had to go into my wheelchair and use my wheelchair all the time because my arms can no longer do what my legs were supposed to do. So there's others out there with the same problem.
I require nocturnal ventilation to keep me going during the day. Without that, I'd fall into a big heap.
I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know that there are services around to help them. And I think this is the main reason we want to get this out to the medical profession, that if they've got a person that has had polio comes in to see them, that they can recommend services that will help them.
I think that what we need to do is we actually need to look at what services are available for people who've had polio and post-polio syndrome. And I think the way to do it is to actually, each of us go out and talk to somebody that we use, so a service provider, and get the information straight from them. Lynn, who would you like to talk to?
Well, I've got a very good rapport with Dr. Stephen de Graaf at Caulfield. He has taken on a lot of post-polio clients, patients, which way you like to call them. He does a lot with pain management and fatigue, and he's helped me a lot.
So you're actually a client of his?
I'm actually a client of his.
So really good.
And I know he's very keen for something like this to be made, to get the message out to other people.
That's great, Lynn. Mary, who do you think that you could talk to that would be able to help us?
I think perhaps it would be appropriate for me to talk to the Victorian Respiratory Resource Service, which is attached to the Austin Hospital.
So, Karim, who is it that you could go and talk to?
Well, I think I'll speak with Darren from Polio Services Victoria at St Vincent's. I've just recently started seeing Darren about a year ago or so, when they transferred me over from the Children's Hospital because they said I was too old anymore.
Trish, who do you think you could go and see?
Well, actually, I think it'd be a good idea if I actually went and spoke to Kathy White, who's the coordinator of Polio Services Victoria, which is the service for polios within Victoria. And she's also a physiotherapist, and part of her role is to provide information to the allied health professionals and to the medical practitioners on the best way to manage polio and post-polio syndrome and what sort of treatments to use, what to look out for in relation to anaesthetics and medications and things like that. So, Pauline, who do you think you could talk to help us?
I think Margaret Petkoff.
I think that's a great idea because she'll be able to help you with making adjustments to your house and things like that.
Yes, and I need some assistance with different things around the house that I'm having trouble managing now.
Okay, here's our assignments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here, Karim.
Thank you.
Okay, so Trish, that means we're systems go with our project.
It means we're off to work.